Good evening and a very warm welcome to France 24's Euro 2020 show. It was all about Group D on Tuesday, and England have managed to top the standings after beating the Czech Republic 1-0. Joining the Three Lions in the knockout stages is Croatia, who ended Scotland's dreams of reaching a first knockout phase in their history. And joining me to discuss what happened and the expectations for these teams that are going forwards is sports journalist Ruben Slagter. Ruben, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, we start with England and the Three Lions, qualified for the last 16 after beating the Czech Republic 1-0 thanks to Raheem Sterling's header. Plenty of question marks do remain on this England team, however. For large parts of the match, they failed to create significant chances. Ruben, how do you assess this English side, who came into the tournament as probably the big favourites after France, but have been, if truth be told, a little bit flat so far?
True. Well, the main question is we have no idea how good England is. Gareth Southgate has already played some different teams, different players, and nobody really was convincing during those games, I think. We're now really waiting for England to have a real test against a real team. We know that next round they will play against one of the group of death, so it will be France, Germany or Portugal probably. So yeah, then we will see how good they are. But it's true that the question marks remain after this final match, that's for sure.
Question marks, particularly, Ruben, surrounding one player, Harry Kane, the captain, best scorer in the Premier League, best assists in the Premier League, Golden Boot of the World Cup, and yet just one shot on target in this entire tournament so far.
Yeah, the main question is now, how can they make him score? That's for sure. Today he had one good opportunity. He missed it, but okay, well played by the goalkeeper, I would say. Maybe it was the opportunity to make Dominic Calvert-Lewin play, but okay, Gareth Southgate is giving him confidence. I can understand that because Harry Kane is his captain, is probably his most important player, and we're now waiting. Maybe with all the other players, they have to support him, and yeah, he has to show up in the next round, because otherwise for England it will be quite a hard task to go through, that's for sure.
Is that the question, his support around him? We've seen Gareth Southgate try Mason Mount and Phil Foden, Raheem Sterling, and today Bukayo Saka, who were both excellent. But is it the players around him that will bring the best out of Kane?
I think so. Well, the main question is also, I mean, why did he score so many goals in Russia? Was also because his opponents over there, he scored them mostly against Panama, Tunisia. He got the Golden Boot. He's a great striker, but okay, he is now also playing in a different team than in that tournament. I mean, the players behind him are more also creative players, also creating occasions for themselves. He is also, if you look for the Sterling goal, for example, Kane is looking for the space, and at the second post, Sterling is coming. So you could also say that Kane did a good job, and Sterling could really profit of his good job. So we'll see during the next games. It's clear that it's not the same connection as he has at Spurs, for example. That's true.
You mentioned, Ruben, that the next match will be against one of the group of death, so either Germany, France or Portugal, to put that in perspective. Can we expect more of a solid defensive base, or England to be more adventurous?
I would say the solid defensive base, but it also depends against who they're going to play. I mean, France, we have seen them quite, defensive as well. I think that if it will be against Germany, Germany is only playing for the attack. So, which will also mean that England will probably wait a little bit more and will react to them. Against Portugal, I would also say that it will be England to make the game. So, it depends a little bit against who they're going to play. At the same time, I really hope that England, and if they want to be European champions, they have to step up their game in that match. That's 100% sure.
Of course, England, again, one of the favourites coming into this competition. But let's focus on Group D's other match. Croatia secured their ticket for the last 16 by beating Scotland 3-1 at Hampden Park. Vlasic, Modric and Perisic scoring the goals against a poor Scotland team who will not make history by being the first team in their history to reach the knockout stages at a major tournament. But finally, Ruben, a Croatia squad that delivered on the quality that we've come to expect from them.
Yeah, like you say, Scotland wasn't that good tonight, that's for sure. It's already great to see Luka Modric play well. He was the decisive player. He was their key player tonight. His goal was just fantastic. Afterwards, he had the the decisive pass out of the corner kick for the last goal of Perisic. So yeah, that was great. I think that everybody will be saying, well, Croatia is not the same team as in 2018. That's for sure. We can see that they don't have the same quality. Their players are getting older. There's a new generation coming, but they are not there yet. But I think for the tournament, it's good that they're through. At least we can have still a nice game with the Croatians. You know that they always try to play. But I don't think that they will make the final like in 2018.
Well, let's take a final look at the standings in Group D. Now, as mentioned, England do top that group with a tough game to come no matter what happens. Croatia are second and will play the second place team in Group E, so you would think potentially quite an easy game or straightforward game for the Croatians. The Czech Republic have also qualified with 4 points, but we still need to wait and see who they could play, including Ruben's home team, the Netherlands. But Ruben, the Czech Republic probably one of the bigger surprises and the better surprise of this tournament.
Yeah, they played also today. It wasn't bad. I mean, they had some opportunities. Souček maybe should have scored in the first half. It's not sensational, but it's a real team performance every time they play. Against Scotland, I thought that they were good. Against Croatia, they deserved the points, so they deserve to be in the next round. And we'll see against who they will play. I think that the Dutch will probably prefer the Czechs compared to, again, the group of death. But we'll see what happens tomorrow in Group E, because that's crucial.
Well, let's take a look at Wednesday's programme and the last group fixture games. 4 matches on offer, starting with Group E, where everything, as we've heard, is still to play for. Slovakia could deprive Spain from reaching the knockout round for the first time since 2004. That victory would ensure that they qualify. Sweden are still unbeaten and have already qualified. Poland could still book their place in the last 16 with a victory, but only a win will do for Robert Lewandowski and co. And of course, all eyes here in France will be on Group F, with Hungary against Germany and world champions France against European defending champions Portugal. The French currently lead the group, but will look to avoid a third place finish by avoiding defeat against Portugal. Ruben, perhaps I can tease you for some predictions on those matches and particularly that group of death. Where is everyone going to finish?
Well, the most important thing, I think that the Germans will win, so that's for sure. France, I'm really curious what they will do. I think for them, there's still that final of 2016 against the Portuguese, so they want to show something. Also after their draw against Hungary, I think that France is still, if you only look at the players, they're still the best team in the tournament, so they have to do something. So I would say, well, Germany will win for sure, and why not a 2-1 victory for France against Portugal? But
of course, a defeat for Portugal might not ensure that they go through. So Portugal are going to have to change their play, because we know that Fernando Santos likes to play with those 2 holding midfielders, but they're going to have to get something from the game.
The trouble is that we have the Group E matches before. So Portugal, they will wait for those results. They will see maybe already they're qualified after those matches. That's possible, unless they lose like 5-0 against France or so. So the main issue for Portugal is just to wait for those matches in Group E. Then afterwards, I think that a small defeat for Portugal would do the job. At the same time, again, there's 2016 still in mind, so losing against the French, they don't want it. But okay, we'll see how it turns out. Maybe for France, they will say, we prefer to play England, and a draw for us is okay. It's a little bit that kind of tournament where teams are qualifying and that we have no idea if they really want to play this or that team. It's with this
certainly
system.
with a third place finish, it does make it difficult. But what's for certain, Ruben, is that we will be together to follow all of that action unfold. Ruben Slagter, thank you very much for joining me on France 24's Euro 2020 show. We'll be back with all the latest analysis. Stay tuned to France 24. Bye bye.